Spiky. Where are you going, Spike? You trying to run over me? What, Spiky? The little dog's out here too. She's old though. Hi, Spiky. Spiky, you better get to eating this grass or I'm going to have to mow it. And you're going to be mad. Let me get his house out and see if he'll settle down and hold still if I get his house for him to mess around in. He's not going to stay in there. He's just messing around. And he turned it. I just gave it to him for something to play with so he'd stop walking around in a circle. Spikey, what are you doing? Spike. Spikey. Spike. He is like having a teenager. He ignores me. Here it comes. Hi, Frankie. Spike, stop it. I'm trying to get you. Let's lift up his house. I just gave him his house so he'd stop walking around in circles. Hi, Spike. What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? You hear his noises? What are you doing, buddy? You got a dirty face. Nice, nothing. Here he goes, moving it around. Frankie, come here. Frankie, he's gonna hit you with that house and then you're gonna yell. Frankie. Frankie. I told you he's gonna hit you with the house and then you're gonna act like you're dying. If he hits her with that house, she'll start screaming. She's a drama queen. Frankie, come here. He's gonna hit you with that house. Stay over here. We're watching Spike be funny. That's gonna mix it up. What are you doing? Why are you guys doing this thing? Well, I did that for nothing. Oh, let me see. Wait a minute, I'll let you do that, Spike. buddy. I don't know where he's taking his house to. Hi, crabs. Yeah, he's in there moving his house around. I don't know where he's taking it to. Yeah, he's having fun. This little dog keeps getting too close, and if he touches her with that house, she'll scream like somebody's killing her. He's got his big feet out. You can tell he's getting ready to move. Aww. Is that another turtle, Crush? Well, maybe he's just resting to get his energy or something. Spike did yesterday. Spike slept all day yesterday. He opened his door, and it rained all day yesterday, and he sat in his doorway for about an hour, but then he got up and went right back over to where he sleeps at, and he slept 23 out of 24 hours yesterday. So maybe that's what Crush is doing. He's just trying to get his sleep in. Now Spike's moving this house everywhere. Here, let me make it better so you guys can see. Hold on. So you guys can see what he's doing. I think he hit the grill, but he'll go the other way. Yeah. How old is he? How old is Crush? 12? Yeah, Spike is 12 too. Well, he'll be 12. Or is he 12? I always get confused. Anyway. No, he's 11. He'll be 12. Okay. What I do with Spike on any day that's above 50 or 45 even, I don't I don't do any lights for Spike, none whatsoever. If Spike can go out in the yard, even if it's raining, he likes the rain. Um, but if it's like above 50, I don't turn on any of his lights at all. Like in the spring and summer and the first part of the fall, I don't ever use any of Spike's lights. I only use them like the last part of fall and into winter. Um, so I'm sure Crush would be all right with that too, because I mean I've been doing that for Spike since he's been about 5 years old. Um, and he's 11. He'll be 12 on September 12th. I always get it confused. Like, is he 11 or 12? I don't know why I do, but so your big turtle, he'll be all like. If you didn't do his lights, he would be all right in the, the spring, summer, and first part of fall. I let Spike stay out until like the end of October, and then, I either put him in his house and don't let him back out, or I take him inside. But for them 7 months or whatever, I just leave his door unlocked and he knows to push on it to open it. Yeah, yeah. In the summertime, even if your night, like, well, if the night's like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, our nights got down to like 29 and 30. I came out at about midnight and turned Spike's heater on and then turned it back off at like 4 a.m. because I knew it was going to be 60 that day or whatever. But I didn't use any of his lights. But we should be out of the heater phase because like in the 50s, I would never turn a heater on for him in the 50s. Like that's way warm enough. I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with. I mean, you know what I mean? If you want to use his lights and his heater, that's up to you. You're his his owner, so that's your call. Um, and if he's used to it, you know what I mean? That might be another thing. Like if Crush is used to having stuff a certain way. Spike, I don't know what he's doing. Now, let me make this shorter so you guys can see him. He's just having fun moving that house around. And Frankie, I don't know what she's doing. I think she wants in the house with him. Has your turtle ever got to meet another turtle like him? Nope. Spike hasn't either. And I was thinking about getting a baby this summer, which of course, Spike wouldn't be around it for a couple of years. I mean, I would show it to him and stuff, but I always just wonder, like, how they would do, because Spike's 11 and he's never even seen another turtle in his life. Like, never seen one. So I always wonder how he would do adopt. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having another. If I could get one as big as him, I wouldn't mind it at all. I'd adopt it. Yeah, we do have 4 or 5 rescues that for the sulcata turtles. Maybe I can call them and see. Because I would definitely take one, older. I don't need a baby. Wouldn't mind at all skipping the baby stages. That's when you have to worry about them the most. Like, what do they say? If you keep them alive the first year, you're normally pretty good. But like the first year, what, 50% of the eggs that hatch on turtles, they die automatically. They don't know how to eat. Yeah, I don't know how they would do either, especially like if I got another boy, which that's what I would want is another boy, because I'm not trying to have no babies or anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a girl. I would just keep them separate and like stuff. Yeah, when I got Spike, he was 12 hours old, and the guy was like, you have a 50-50 chance. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, 50% of the eggs that hatch die because they don't know how to eat when they hatch, like if they're on their own, you know what I mean? And they just don't know how to eat. He said, so if you can get him eating, you know, you got a good chance that he'll make it. He said, but if we get him eaten, because Spike was, I don't know, I want to say $350 or something like that. And he said, if we get them eaten, they automatically go up to like $800. And they didn't have any that was eaten. Like they had 2 hatchlings, Spike and another one of his brothers or sisters. And I don't know. See, this year I'm gonna make a little like a little shallow pool for him and see. Because Spike, sometimes when the puddles in the yard and stuff, Spike will lay in the puddles and stuff in the yard every now and then. So I think he would like a shallow pool, like every now and then. Like he doesn't do it all the time. And as you know, they won't drink water. They act like they're gonna die if you try to get them to drink water. Oh, Crush don't like it at all. Yeah. I'm just gonna make a little one just to see like what Spike would think about it. I mean, he might not like it. He might just like to lay in his puddles and stuff. Like, I don't know. You hear his noises? Does Crush make those noises? Spike has such a personality. Ghost Tree! Hello! How are you? Oh, he's turning. Watch, I'm gonna lift up his house, and he'll make noises at me when I do it. I'll lower the camera so you can hear it better. Because he's gonna yell at me. Watch him not do it. Every time I say he's gonna do something, he doesn't do it, and then I look dumb. I need to quit saying he's gonna do stuff, because every time I say it, he don't do it. Spike, what are you doing, man? Oh, thank you, Ghost Tree. I would love to, if somebody around me had a big turtle like Spike, to let Spike meet it just to see how he would act with it, because I would hate to adopt one and them not like each other. Then what would I do? Yeah, he loves this thing. It's a pond. I had it in one of my flower beds out front, and I took it out because I put a bigger one in. And that's like right when Spike was like, I don't know, 3 or 4. And we could not find nothing to make him a house out of. So at the time, my husband was alive, and he literally just took this thing and flipped it over and cut a hole in it. And Spike has loved it ever since. See, he didn't make no noises. I told you. Every time I say he's going to do something, he don't do it. But I would love to see how Spike does with another turtle before I adopted one. You should see Frankie. I love her to pieces. She's 15. She's a miniature wiener dog, even though I know she's fat. But that's because she's dying of cancer and she loves cat food. So I let her eat cat food because why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's made it 15 years. So I just let her, you know, before she got diagnosed with cancer, I watched what she ate and stuff, you know what I mean? Because being a wiener dog, like her back and stuff, she needs a haircut too, but she also hates that. So I'm debating on whether to get her one this year or not because the vet don't give her long to live. So I'm trying to make her last days like, oh, Frankie, you're hitting it. Like her best days, and I'm trying not to aggravate her and do stuff she don't like, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's had it for probably about, actually she had surgery about 6 months ago, and they removed, I don't know, 4 tumors. And then there was a couple that they said that they couldn't remove because they were, you know, like, I don't know. They just said it would really be life or death if they removed them. And they said that they didn't think chemo would help her since they couldn't take out those 2 big tumors that they found when they were in there. So I didn't do chemo. Why make her sick? You know what I mean? So she's just living her best life. And she barks at me when she wants cat food. She'll bark at me. Like, and I know what her bark means. Like, she wants cat food. So I'll like give her like a half of a can or whatever. I'm just like, why not? You know? I mean, it's not good for them because it makes them fat, and being a fat wiener dog ain't good on their back. But I mean, you know, at this point, if you want to eat cat food, eat cat food. I've had her since she's been 6 weeks old. She got pregnant one time, and she had 2 puppies. She got pregnant by, I had a miniature wiener dog male, which he died of stomach cancer. But she got pregnant by him one time, and she had 2 puppies. They were so stinking cute. And I had kept one, and I gave one to my sister. Well, the one I kept died 2 years ago from stomach cancer. But, oh, that's what I wasn't going to tell you that part. I was going to tell you, when Frankie was pregnant, when she got, you know, right to her 8th and 9th week, her little belly was so big, like, it just dragged the ground. Like, she couldn't walk because she had those 2 puppies in her. So for the last week of her pregnancy, I had to carry her everywhere. Yeah, that's what I use. I use coconut oil too for their shell. Yep, yep, I do the organic kind too. That's exactly what I use on him too. Which I need to get to it. I've just been doing so much. Like, I haven't got my garden planted. I've been trying to get these rooms fixed for my daughter and her boyfriend. And I had to tear the wall out between them to make 2 rooms into 1 room. And those the wall that I took down had two closets on it, one on each side. So you know what it's like emptying two big closets. There were two walk-in closets actually. So I think a couple more days and I'll be done. Like, and I'll have that done. I should have never have done it, but I thought it would go faster than what it did. But you know, I always forget it's just me. Like I've never tore a wall down in a house. I just do stuff and just learn as I go because I don't know, that's just always been the kind of person I've been. He's napping. Yeah. Yeah. I love when his eyes are closed. Does your turtle sleep outside of his shell like that? Because the only other big turtle like him I know is the one that used to be at the pet store. And she would never sleep with her head outside of her shell. Yours does too? Oh, oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for telling me that because I used to think that there was something wrong with Spike. Because I told the guy, I said, he never goes in his shell to sleep. I mean, every now and then he'll go in his shell to sleep like a normal turtle. But most of the time he just sleeps like that. And that guy was looking at me like there was something wrong with him. I'm like, he's done that since I've had him. Like, I'm so glad yours does that too. Okay. When they're comfortable with their surroundings. Okay. I'm so glad because like for the longest time I always thought, what's wrong with Spike? Why don't he go in his shell to sleep? But I love seeing him when his eyes are closed. I don't know, I guess because you don't see turtles like that often. And they just look so peaceful. Hi, buddy. You're a dirty face. Yeah, yeah. He'll hiss. Spike does too when he blows out that air, like, yeah. Yep, Spike does too. And then he'll like dart out of his shell and he'll do this weird thing with his neck. Like, I don't know, it almost looks like he's a robot for a minute. How he does his neck, it's so weird. I'm like, why do you do that? Has Crush ever got mad at you? Like, what does Crush do when he gets real mad at you? Like when he's mad, like mad as fire mad. Spike put his head down like towards the ground and he'll just like get at a real fast walk, almost to where if he went any faster he'd be running, and he puts his head low to the ground and he rams into you with his shell. He got mad at you. Is that what yours does too? Does he try to ram you with his shell? Spike got me one time and like both of my legs were bleeding. He hit me so hard. And I was like, buddy, what, you know? And I was like, I knew I made him mad, of course. And then he tried it, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago I made him, I don't remember what I did, but I made him mad. Oh, I took his house away. I took this black house out of his house. He was so mad at me. He did that again, and when he was coming towards me with his head down, he'll nudge. Spike like runs into you like he's a tank. Like he puts his head down, so of course he knows that ain't gonna hit you. His shell's gonna hit you, and he just rams as hard as he can into you. He didn't get me a couple weeks ago. I jumped out of the way. I was like, no way, buddy. I know what that means. You already got me once doing that. That hurts, don't it? With they making all them weird sounds that they make when they're mad. I think them sounds are funny. And it's like the more I laugh, the madder he gets when he's mad. I'm like, it's so funny. You make the funniest sounds when you're mad. Like, wonder if like you had two of them together, if they would make those sounds. Yes, they are. They're very powerful. Very. Like, I never. That's why I didn't move the first time when Spike did it, because I thought, oh, it can't be that bad. You know what I mean? I seen him coming, but I didn't think he was going to ram into me hard. I just thought he was going to, like, nudge me. You know what I mean? And I found out different, and I was like, bull crap. Like, both of my legs were bleeding when he did it. It's like, but I mean, I guess that's one of their defenses, you know? Like, that's probably the only way they have to defend themselves. I wonder if you had two of them together, if they would make those sounds, like, to communicate with each other. I would just love to see how two of them act around each other. You do stand your ground? Not me. Not me, buddy. I'd get on something like steps or something where he can't reach me, because I stood my ground one time and it hurt. Like, I had bruises, cuts, and everything on my legs. When he gets like that, I get out of his way. Nope. Oh, but if he pushes, you move. Yeah. See, Spike don't give you no warnings. Only warning you're going to get is them sounds that they make. And he's going to go a little bit away from you, and you're going to see him coming straight towards you, and then he's going to put his head low to the ground. And when he does that, you better move, because he's going to ram right into you. He did it the other day in this house, and I just jumped out the door. I'm like, you ain't doing that to me. Nope. Dropped me once. And he was probably 4 or 5. Like, it's been a good 5 years since he did it. So he was a lot littler. And I would hate to see what my legs would look like now from him. Because he's a lot bigger and stronger now. Yeah, I just wonder if you got two of them together, if they would make them sounds and talk to each other. I don't know. I just would like to see if Spike would like another turtle before I got one. Because that wouldn't be good if you had two big turtles and they didn't like each other. Oh yeah, yeah, he don't like the planes and the helicopters. Spike don't like them. He can barely hold his eyes open. Oh, Spike, you're so sweet. Frankie's right behind him, just she won't stop moving. You lay down. Goes straight when he's mad at, oh my lands. Like, I've only seen him be mad twice. And the first time I didn't think he was going to ram me. Yeah, I learned real quick. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's Spike too. He'll just keep eating and eating and eating. They have such a good personality, don't they? Like, that's how Spike is. Like, he's got such a, he makes me laugh all day long. You know, whenever I'm around him, he does something that I think is funny. And he just looks at me like, are you laughing at me? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, he's used to my voice. Like, I guess because I've had him since he's been 12 hours old. Like, when he's outside and I come out the back door, I'll say his name. I don't want to say it because he'll wake up. Yeah, I'll holler his name and he'll come up to me. He's like, what? What? I'm here, I'm here. And like, my daughter seen him doing that. Like, see me, like when I go out the back door, he'll come up to me because I normally bring food out with me. Because he eats 3 or 4 times a day. And one day I was like, can you go give Spike some strawberries and apples or watermelon or something? She's like, yeah. She came back in, she's like, well, he didn't come up to me. See, I said his name and he opened his eyes. I didn't mean to do that. She went outside and hollered for him, and she was like, he didn't come up to me like he does you. And I don't know why I said it. Because I feed him 3 or 4 times every day. You have fed him once in 11 years. Like, of course, like, you know, he probably knows your voice because he hears it every now and then, but like, he doesn't associate you with food or being taken care of. You've never done anything. Like, I don't know, she just got an attitude. I'm like, he learns. I mean, it's like I can't hold my eyes open. Yeah, if you say his name, he'll wake up and look at you. That's why I try not to say it when his eyes are closed. And when he was, before his house got built, like, he gets aggravated with the dogs, and I would always take him in my room so that way he could get away from the dogs. Oh yeah, yeah. As soon as he poops or pees or anything, yeah, got the scoopers. Because if he poops and you don't get it right away, I don't know why, he just loves to lay in it. I don't know. And then you have to scrub it off his belly with the toothbrush. So I try to get it as soon as I see it, I'm getting it. So I'm like, why do you lay on it? Why you gotta lay in it? You know. And he's like, I don't know. I guess he just likes laying in it. That's how I figured out he was a boy, actually. Was I was scrubbing his stomach one time with the toothbrush to get, you know, the poop off of it. And yeah, you know what happened. I dropped him because I wasn't paying no attention. I was just paying attention to getting that off of his stomach. And that thing slapped my arm. And I thought an alien done, it looked like a curly, clear alien. I thought and I just dropped him and screamed. I was like, what was that? And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, he's a boy. Because for the longest time, you know, if you look it up, it says if their shell's concave or this or, I'm like, what do you compare it to? So for years, we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. And yeah, then the whole toothbrush thing happened and I went running out of the bathroom. I'm like, it's a boy. It's definitely a boy. Then I was like, Spike, I think I broke your man parts. Like I dropped you straight on them because I did not see that coming. All I knew was something slimy hit my arm, and it like that, I was not prepared for it. Yeah, I was like, I broke his, fill in the blank. I was like, oh Lord, I broke it. I dropped him right on it, and he just looked at me. I was like, what was that? And I was like, oh my God. And then it hit me, like, I was like, oh my God, I broke it. I just dropped him, his whole body weight straight on it. It was yeah, one time he got flipped over, probably about a year or two after the bad thing. He got flipped over on the top of a show. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. And he couldn't get back over. And when I found him like that, of course, it was out. And I was like, that's the weird. And I took a picture of it and I sent it there and I said, see, it's definitely a boy. It's definitely a boy. And then, well, now I understand what they were saying, like about their shells because Puddles at the store, that she was 25. She looked like she was much rounder. You know what I mean? Like her back went way higher than Spike's. Like she had like a normal turtle, like a big hump in her back. And Spike is kind of like, he's flatter compared to her. You know what I mean? He's flatter and longer. So now I understand what Google was trying to say that about their shell, because it finally dawned on me. Because like the girls are more rounder, so that way when the boys, you know what, like they got to be flatter so they can do what they do. And now I understand it, but at the time I didn't understand what Google was saying. Yeah, Puddles, she looked like almost like a cartoon turtle. She was just perfect. You know what I mean? With the big hump shell. Like she was just perfect. Like if you were going to draw one, that's how you would draw a turtle. She looked exactly like that. Like she was just beautiful. And Spike is like flatter and longer. And he's only 11 and he's already bigger than she was, and she was 25. But she looked perfect. Like I don't know. So I wouldn't mind having a girl either, because the girls are real pretty. I just don't want, 150 eggs one day. But then you think, if you get two males, how would they act around each other? Do turtles have the whole thing like dogs? Do they have the whole alpha thing? Is there an alpha turtle? You know what I mean? I don't know anything about that. Like, you gotta keep them separated, the males. Yeah, see, I wondered that, because normally in every, you know, like in the dogs, there's always an alpha, and in the cats, there's an alpha, and most animals, monkeys even, there's an alpha. So I always wondered if there was in turtles. The song. So, I mean, that's good to know. So, like, then I guess if I did get another one, I would want a female, right? You hear Frankie? I'm telling you, this dog talks. What, Frankie? What? What do you want? I'm not picking you up right now. What do you want? What do you want? So at least I know that if I'm going to get another one, to try to get a female, because I don't want no turtles fighting. I'd be freaking out. You know, because their shells are their main thing to their health. Like, if they hurt their shells, oh my gosh, you're going to live at the vet. Or your turtle's going to die, one or the other. And I just don't want none of that. Wonder if they have like turtle birth control or something. Is there a surgery that Can turtles get neutered? I mean, I don't know if they can or not. I'll have to ask the vet. That way, if I get a female, can like Spike get neutered? Because I don't want 150 eggs, because then I'll think I'll have to hatch them all. Because there's baby turtles in there, and I don't want them to die. And that would be a whole mess, you know what I'm saying? I have to ask the vet. I mean, I've never heard of it. But I haven't heard of a lot of things, so. Alright, Spike. Spike's like, I'm just gonna. Carpenter's glue. Oh, for their shell. See, like his vet always tells me that, like, his shell is his biggest thing to his health. Like, if he gets a crack or anything in his shell, like, he has to be on antibiotics till it heals because of the infections and stuff. And, like, by the time his vet always explains it like, what? Like, if you can visually see something's wrong with your turtle, 90% of the time it's too late. I mean, you can try to do your best, but he said 90% of the time it's too late. That's why he has to go to the vet every 4 months. So that way they can just run the tests and everything to make sure he's all right. Yeah, you hear her? Yeah. Yep, exactly. That's exactly. Watch, I'm going to quit petting her. Just listen, watch. I swear I hate when you don't do it. She is pretty spoiled though, because she can't get up steps or anything because her legs are like 1.5 inches, so she does get carried a lot. Her name's Frankie. I used to have, at one time, I don't know, I was just I worked at a nursing home, and one of the nurses bred, like, she had different sets of dogs that she bred. I mean, they were all miniature wiener dogs, but she had, like, you know, like 5 different pairs of them. And, I got 2 males at one time, and I had them at my mom's house, and my grandma seen them. She was like, oh, I would love to have a female one of them. I said, Grandma, I'll buy it for you. But it'll probably be 6-8 months before I get it, because they only have 2 puppies at a time. And she had a list. And I said, if I buy it, you better take it. Oh, I will, honey, I will. And she lived in Tennessee. And so I ordered Frankie and paid for her and all that. And then, you know, Frankie came in. And I brought her home from work with me. And I told Mom to call Grandma, tell her puppy's here. Well, you know what happened. Grandma was like, oh, I don't want it now. She went to the animal shelter and got a little boy dog. I said, Grandma, I already paid for her. I physically have her. You have to take her. Like, no. I explained this to you. Oh, honey, I can't. It's enough just to get somebody to watch one dog when we want to travel or something, blah, 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 blah. So, my grandma's name was Frankie, and I named all mine. Like, I had Oscar, of course, was my first wiener dog. And then I had Cons, that was his brother. And then, since my grandma's name was Frankie, and you know, I did the whole Frank's name anyway, so that's why she's Frankie. And then she had a girl and a boy puppy, and I kept the female. Her name was Gold Star. She was gold. She didn't have one black hair on her. I don't know how two black dogs have a pure gold dog, but they did. And I named her Gold Star. Yeah, and my daughter's always trying to bring more dogs home. I was like, look, I'm dogged out. Like, what was it? 3 years ago, I had a dog since she was a day old. This guy was trying to kill these baby puppies, and he had them in a bag. He was going to put them in this lake, and I said, no, you're not. Give me him. And he's like, I don't want nobody to know my dog had blah, blah. I said, I don't even know you. I don't know your name. I don't know anything about you, but I know you're not going to put them puppies in that water. I know that. I said, I'm not going to tell anybody your high-priced dog had a litter of mutts. I don't know you, dude. But anyway, I took them all home with me. Of course, there was 6 or 8 of them. I can't remember. And I kept one and gave the rest away. And she was 21 years old last year when she had to get put to sleep. I was like, I had her for 21 years because she was a day old when I got her. And then Gold Star, Frankie's puppy, died 2 years ago of stomach cancer. And then now Frankie. And, you know, the husky's mine, and the little miniature pit bull in there is mine, but he's probably 13 or 14, I'd have to look. So Aaron's always like, I'm going to get you more. I said, no, I don't want any more dogs. I don't. Like, leave me alone. When my dogs go to heaven, I'm done. I don't want no more. I just don't. Yeah, she was half beagle, half shih tzu. And that guy had the shih tzu, the female. And that his dog got out and made it with the full-blooded beagle next door. And that's why he was going to kill the puppies, because he wanted to breed his shih tzu and sell them for money. So he didn't want nobody to know that she had a litter of mutts. I mean, that dude was getting ready to fight, like for real fight. Like, I'll be damned, you're not going to kill some puppies because they're not full-blooded. Are you kidding me right now? I was like, give me that. He had them in a pillowcase. I said, give me, or it looked like a pillowcase. I don't know what it was. I said, give me that bag. And he was like, no, no. I was like, dude, I'm telling you. We will both be in that lake before them dogs will be in that lake. I promise you. I promise you. I said, so just give it to me and I'll leave. And you'll never see me again. I don't want nobody and nobody know. I said, I don't know you. I don't know your name. I don't know anything about you. I said, so who am I going to tell? And why do I care to tell them? All I know is you got a bag full of puppies that you're trying to kill and you're not doing it. Yeah, I don't either. It was so weird because I went to visit my friend and he was her neighbor. And the only reason why he even came over there is because he had to ask her a question. And actually, it was her beagle dog that his shih tzu dog got pregnant by. And he had that bag in his hand and I kept seeing it move. And I was like, what's in that bag? And he looked at me and ignored me the first time. And they kept talking and I seen it move again. I said, dude, what is in that bag? It keeps moving. And he's like, it's a litter of puppies that I'm getting rid of. I'm taking them across the street over here to this lake. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. And my friend just looked at me like she didn't even say anything. Like she didn't say anything. And I looked at her like, you're really going to let him do this? She didn't say a word. I said, I'm telling you. It's just weird, you know, like how I was there when that whole thing went down. So I brought them all home and bottle fed them for the first 6 weeks. Then I found them all homes but the one I kept. She looked, you know, just like a Shih Tzu. She was black and white. She was adorable. But she was 21 years, and I have it right down in there. She was like 21 years old and 4 months, and I don't know how many days. And I had her since, you know, the day she was born, because that's, he was taking them over there to get rid of them. So it just seems like all my dogs are all going to heaven together. And I just don't want anymore. They break your heart. Like, I just can't do it. I mean, if I seen you know what I mean? Like my husky and that miniature pit bull, they were rescues. The husky done been through like 10 houses, and everybody was beating him and all this and that, and he has epilepsy, and people were punching him and hitting him, and I said, just give him to me, I'll take him. And so that's how I got him. And then that pit bull was dying. Like, it had worms so bad that they were coming out of his mouth. And I asked the guy that had him, I said, look, I just want to take him to my house so I can deworm him, and I'll bring him right back to you. I don't want to keep him. And the guy was throwing a fit. Nope, I can't let you take him unless you pay for him. So I literally had to get down to the bank and get money and pay for that dog just to bring him home to save his life, because, I mean, his eyes were sunk in his head, and he was a little tiny puppy. I said, the worms are killing that dog. They're coming out of his mouth. What are you talking about? So that's how I got them two. So, I mean, I can't say I would never get any more. Of course, if I seen one that needed help, I would take it. But I just don't want her to bring me. You know, like if them dogs have a good home already, I don't want her to bring them home to me. Like, but I wouldn't let a dog get mistreated, or, you know, like the husky, and his name's King. And then that little, the pit bull is, the mom was a pit bull and the dad was a terrier or something. So he's like a real little tiny white dog. And he's old now too. Like, he's an old man too. But they were just gonna let him die. They had no plans on. They were just gonna let the worms kill him, I guess, because I've never heard of such. I was like, I just want to take him and deworm him, because you see the worms crawling out of his mouth? They're killing him. Like, he ain't getting no nutrients. His eyes are sunk in his head. They had a fit, so I just paid for the dog so that way I could take him and save him, and I just, you know, kept him. I just don't know. I just don't understand how there's so many cruel people in this world that can see dollar signs before they see, you know, like, that they're puppies. Even if they're not puppies, even if they're grown dogs. Like, you don't know. That's not what you do. But I guess there's just them kind of people. Oh, come here, Frankie. One of the cats, the homeless cats, just jumped the fence, but Frankie won't do anything. She's too fat. Come here, Frankie. 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 Hold on a second, guys. I gotta put Frankie up. Come here. No. Come inside. Come here, Frankie. It's okay. It's okay, Frankie. Put her inside. Fluffy's part of the 4 homeless cats that I feed. Come on, Fluffy. Come on. She's like, I want my canned food. Yeah. You heard me make the noise. Fluffy wants canned cat food. I'm like, for a homeless cat, Fluffy, you're sure demanding. But I give them all. Dry food and canned cat food. But she just jumped the fence and Frankie was out here, but Frankie's too little and slow. Fluffy. Fluffy. I call her Fluffy. I don't know any other name for her. What? I think somebody just dropped the litter of kittens off somewhere around here. Because I've been feeding 4 of them for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. Let me let her in. Come here, Fluffy. Come on, you're clean. Come on. She's like, no, you're going to show me now. I'm not going to go. I'm going to stand here and meow. Spike's looking at me. Oh, thank you. You too, Crabs. Come on, how's that? Come on.